Background: I was abused mentally and physically. Background: I was abused mentally and physically by 4-6 family members, and sexually abused by 2-6. I went NC more than 5 years ago. My abusive mother died just over a year ago. I finally finished going through probate on her estate, which was pretty terrible in and of itself. However, I got some petty revenge on one of my first abusers, which was nice. I caught the executrix, my oldest sister, seal below, on an absolutely stupid lie. She'd been dragging her feet on getting us our part of the estate, just to fuck with us. All in writing: lies, delays, excuses. Finally, she was saying the lawyer's secretary had been trying to call us for days, said she'd left messages and that maybe we'd deleted them by accident, etc. We knew her game though, and despite her efforts to hide the family's lawyer's contact information, we found it and contacted him. The lawyer was stunned. No one had been trying to contact us. Such an easy lie to disprove, I wrote to my sister. Do your job. She immediately blocked me on every platform, including Facebook, though we could still text. I knew I was free. I texted to inform her that we would be working directly with the lawyer from now on, to never contact us again, and that Dad was right about you. I wasn't referring to anything specific. I didn't have to. There are uncountable numbers of things that Dad has said about her. Very few complimentary. She's done terrible things in her life. Like all true narcissists, she'd left a trail of destruction in the lives of those she crossed paths with. Her being told that Dad was right about you would have set off a storm of paranoia, panic, and narcissistic collapse, as she would be forced to review the horrible things she'd done in her life, things she knew she was truly guilty of, and what our dad would have said about them. I hope her moment of involuntary self-reflection was unpleasant. What would have been worse for her was the horrifying realization that whatever she imagined Dad had said about her, he'd said it to me, which meant in her mind I already knew the things that she was most afraid of me knowing. She'll have that nagging at her for the rest of her life, and I'm gone forever. She'll get no answers, and she's got no one to take it out on except herself. Oh, and her fourth husband, the poor dumb bastard. Thank you for reading. P.S. Ironically, I actually do know some pretty terrible dark secrets of hers, secrets that should have gone to the grave along with our parents. But it was Mom who told my sister's secrets. She gave them away with a breezy indifference while holding an empty wine glass. She was totally unconcerned. Any hurt she'd just done to someone else meant nothing to her, any more than how a table felt. A table was a thing, and to her, so were people. She wasn't the head vampire, but she was the assistant to the head vampire. She's a gold-plated, double-barreled narcissist with the conscience of a cat and 1112 on the DSMI, a cloud of malevolence in a person suit. Maybe 1212. My dad believed she pushed her third husband into what he did so she could finish destroying her future fourth husband's marriage. More than once, he called her a murderer. H. Fenton Mudd commented, "That's nice to hear, thank you. I hope you're rising above the damage done to you by her." Here's one story about Mom, but it isn't funny. TW. Suicide attempt. After my suicide attempt in college, she came to see me in the hospital. She walked in with her bag on her arm, with her hands clasped in front of her. She looked at me for a moment and then said, "When I was pregnant with you, your father tried to commit suicide. He thought I was having an affair with your Uncle Richard." And then she laughed slightly. Think about the people she abused and defamed and harmed with that statement. No sympathy, no caring, no love, no concern. She looked at me and the first thing she brought to mind was one of her long-term slow-burn revenges against my dad and me. I was Dad's favorite, and she hated that as much as she hated Dad and me. I belonged to her. You were my present to myself. The second thing, the very first thing she did was to make the entire situation about herself. H. Fenton Mudd commented, "She's got nothing else. She spent years plotting to get in control of our mother, with the endgame of getting the house. Because in her mind, the house were Mom's power over us, and she wanted power over us. But since she is more or less an alien in human society, she had no idea what actually motivates people who aren't her victims. Everything is a thing, even people, especially people. But that house can burn to the ground for all I care. So she's got nothing really, no friends because she doesn't know how to interact with humans. She doesn't know how to interact with anything. When her dog of 15 years died, she didn't care at all. She didn't understand why anyone would. The dog was dead. All she's got now is that house, her luckless fourth husband, and guns, including several fully automatic Thompson submachine guns that I'm pretty sure aren't registered. She goes to great lengths to keep everything she considers important about herself as a total secret. She loves guns more than she loves power over other people. Well, that's sort of what guns are too, I'd guess, to her, BigNet9971 commented. Sorry, I'm not a psychologist, but your sister sounds like a genuine sociopath. Literally unable to have any empathy with any other people or beings. It sounds, bluntly, terrifying. I would report the guns, and do what you're doing to keep your distance, and to take away whatever leverage she has over your life and anybody else's. You clearly have had a lot of practice at this, and it seems like you're good at it.